Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Last week, many of you were here to see that we started a new segment called Mental Health of Ms. Parker. Ms. Parker, I'll let you take it away.
Hey guys, welcome back to Mental Health Monday, as we're going to call this moving forward. We are still in the month of May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. And today I wanted to share with you about my weekend and what I think we are collectively been feeling regarding Ahmaud Arbery case that is here in Georgia, and how collectively as a Black community, how we're responding to that from a mental health perspective. One thing I want to be clear to everyone is that our healing process is not only for us. It is for a generation of issues and things that have happened to us, happened to our grandparents, happened to our grandparents' parents since slavery. We have a generational trauma within each of our families that we're healing from. A lot of what we are healing from has nothing to do with what happened to us as individuals. Every time a Black person is shot down in the streets, gunned down by police, killed at the hand of a white person, it is generational trauma being re-triggered in all of us. That is why we respond the way we do. This is why we have been feeling anger, frustration, disappointment, hopelessness, and sadness. It is normal because every time you are triggered, every time your trauma is triggered, those feelings will come up, and it is okay. I also want you to be mindful that within those feelings, you need to find a way that you can healthily deal with those things. If it's writing things down, if it's venting to a friend, if it's playing music, going for a run, making the 2.34 miles a weekly thing to honor him. However you're able to get through that portion of your week, it is okay for you to do so. You should not be guilt or ashamed into not feeling what you're feeling. You should acknowledge what you're feeling, and it is okay for you to feel that way. What I do want you to also be mindful of is that you owe no one an explanation for why you're angry. It is normal for a group of people who's been victimized for generations to have triggers and trauma surrounding them watching another Black person being gunned down. Another thing is you do not have to watch those videos. If you are not in the mental space and you do not have the mental capacity to do so, please, I beg you, do not watch those videos. It is triggering your trauma, and it is putting you back through things that you may have healed from or things that you may have been working to heal from. Especially as Black men, you do not have to watch another Black man being gunned down. It is something that has an effect on your mental health. There's no way that as a Black man, you can watch another Black person being gunned down, or as a Black person, period. It should be as a human being that does not trigger something within you. If you are not up to it, you can discuss it. You can go ahead and read about it, but you do not have to watch those videos. And another thing is I want to share with you is over the weekend, I went about 2.5 hours outside of Atlanta, sightseeing the Greystone Memorial or Greystone, I don't know what it's called. Somebody put up these stones in the middle of nowhere in Georgia. Pretty interesting. I've never seen it before. It was commissioned by somebody who wanted to remain anonymous, so no one really knows who did it. But the message is pretty important. The message is about humanity, and it is also translated in 5 different languages. So it's really potent it's really something that is a reflection of actually any day and time, including today's what's going on about justice and fairness to all humanity. While on the trip, I felt some triggers of fear. And I was fearful of our safety as we went through towns that had Trump signs, Confederate flags throughout on almost every other yard and porch. It was disheartening to see. It was fearful. We had to stop to use the bathroom, and I did not want to get out. I did not. I knew that we were in places that we probably wasn't wanted or viewed in a favorable manner. That's something that we as Black people live with every day. Being mindful of where we are, being mindful of how we're viewed just by the color of our skin, and also having to be in a space of uncomfortable fear at all times, especially during these times when you can be shot down for anything that they deem justifiable without it having to be justifiable. With that being said, when we were sightseeing and going through the different parks, there are some parks nearby that we decided to go through right outside of the border between Georgia and South Carolina. And we turned into one of the areas and we were being looked at really strangely. Didn't stay very long, took a couple of pictures, and then we were going to go check out the other side. Well, the other side, it says campers only. So I'm assuming that it's for people who have campers in the back of their cars. So we decided to turn around, but we went through the campers only area. And I literally had fear that and it was deep in the woods, that anything could happen to us in those woods and we would not.
No one know.
And no one would know. That's how we as African Americans, African descent, African people of color in this country have to live. It's a constant battle of having to think about where you are, how you're being viewed, and if you're safe. So the message of this Mental Health Monday is that do what it takes for you to remain sane within the environment that we are put in. We are placed in a space that is hard for us as people to heal, even generations later, because these things are still triggering us. And until we're given a space to do so, it's going to be a challenge for us to completely heal individually if we can't heal collectively.
No, perfect. I love that message. And you're very right. You know, we talked about it earlier in the show with your best friend and attorney, Melanie Davis. We have to do what's right for our mental health. You know what I mean? And I really appreciate you sharing that. I know you made a post about it today on your Instagram. You want to give your Instagram name?
Yes, it's Our Healing Space 2020. And it is, you can also check me out at Miss Parker 03. That's my personal page, but for my mental health page and my healing page is Our Healing Space 2020. And then one more thing that I wanted to share very quickly, Stephen, before we leave. I think another reason that it's so hard for us to heal as a community is because when someone does something to you and you tell that person, you've harmed me, you hurt me, you've caused me pain, this is how your action has affected me for generation or for days or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And for someone to not acknowledge that hurts.
Yeah.
It does not allow space to heal when someone refuses to acknowledge what they've done to you.
Most definitely. And
it does not allow forgiveness completely. It lingers. It lingers not only in the African American community, but it is a dark cloud over the entire nation. Mm-hmm. Until you change that behavior through a sincere apology and change behavior.
Right.
So change behavior meaning starting today, you're going to apply the law to everyone as it should be. Mm-hmm. Starting today, you're going to treat everyone colorless. That's what an apology of healing looks like. Until that happens, we are going to be in a space collectively of an unhealed nation.
Absolutely. Great words. And again, to learn more about Ms. Parker's, she has her personal page and she has her healing page. They'll both be in the bio in this video. But Ms. Parker, thank you so much for encouraging us, and I love this segment. And we'll do it again next Monday.
All right, look forward to it.
All right.
And take care of yourselves, everyone.
Most definitely. Right back after this, y'all.